I love comedy. It's fun. It's about the unexpected. You have no clue what I'm going to do next, do you, ma'am?
And the actual title of the book is Cooking with Pooh.
Dance everywhere.
It's going to be a good night. Thank you. Oh, that's sick. You're always sick. I like you.
I am a professional moron. I write down thoughts that come into my head, and I develop them, and I tell them to strangers and try to make them respond in laughter. My name's Tim Hawkins. Sounds weird when I would say my own name.
I'm Heather. I'm married to a guy who's a comedian. And when I tell people that, they always are like, oh yeah, my husband thinks he's real funny too. And I'm like, well, my husband actually gets paid for it, so that kind of works out. I remember the kids, when they would go to a show, they would say, oh my gosh, Dad is so famous. And I was like, okay, well, let's get perspective here. This group of people right here did pay tickets to see your dad, but this is 1% of, or less than all the world.
We moved in this house right on his 4th birthday. Seemed like he always liked music and doing creative things. One of the teachers called at one point. She said, well, we were talking about the Yellow River in China. And I asked the class, do you have any idea why they called it the Yellow River? And he said, I suppose they didn't have plumbing. So that's what we're dealing with. One of our friends said, if the boy doesn't use comedy to make a living, it's going to be a waste of a life.
I used comedy as an icebreaker. I'm a pretty shy person, you know, just a little ginger kid with goofy looking, you know, so you have to kind of find other ways of getting popularity. It wasn't my looks, it wasn't my physical prowess or whatever you want to call it, but I could hold a room.
My name is Matt Foley, and I live in a van down by the river.
I was at a New Year's Eve party that you showed up at, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we met a year later at the same New Year's Eve party.
Yeah, and she did not like me.
Tim got in the car with us to go ice skating. And he was cracking all these jokes in the back, and I was not getting any of them.
And when I would join a new group of friends or whatever, I'd be very quiet. And then they'd just go, hey, Hawkins does this voice. Hawkins, do it.
Just break into a chop and broccoli real quick.
Instead of me coming right out, you know what I'm saying? I would have to be asked to do my thing.
I don't know what to do.
Chop and broccoli!
You asked for it.
Chop!
But I was like, gosh, everybody talks about how funny this guy is, and I don't know. He didn't seem so funny. As I got to know him and then talk one-on-one with him, then of course I knew he was funny.
Isn't that right, honey?
Yes, dear.
Here you go.
So it'll be a double and an RBI for Tim Hawkins.
He made a Big 8 conference in baseball. At that time, we thought maybe he had a pretty good chance of being drafted as a baseball player. And he called us and said he wanted to pursue music and comedy. We felt insecure about it because we didn't know about his future. They had Spencer and Olivia at that time. And then they decided that he would travel around and try to get started.
Say hi to my daughters, Olivia, my wife, Heather, and my little boy, Spencer.
It's like I performed for meals for years. Like, hey, we can feed you if you come make us laugh for 15 minutes or whatever.
You know, I'm coming off a bad period of 2 years of backsliding. It was every night. It was like drunkenness and foul language and fighting. And I said, you know what? I'm quitting church softball.
If you get a laugher here or there, it's very, it's addictive. You just, like I said, you want to keep chasing it. Those first shows, I'd be like, you know, hey, turn the cameras off. But then it changed. It's like, no, we realized this is what's making it work. The first viral video I had, I didn't even make it. Some teenage, like 13-year-old kid made a stick figure animation of a song off one of my CDs. And and that one got like 1 million or so views. We were like, what is this? I mean, it was like a preschooler did it.
My dad's career started to take off a little bit more, so obviously like YouTube was getting big, and his like Cletus Take the Reel video came out and all that stuff.
Cletus take the reel, take it from my hands.
I had just recorded the DVD called Full Range of Motion.
We had just moved back to St. Louis. He was on the road. I started getting like weird symptoms, like really bad cold sores going down my chin even, and now my lip. I couldn't taste anything for like a month. And then they said that was stage 4 breast cancer. And I was like, yeah, that's not good.
When that happens, it's just you're seeing gravestones. It's like death, and it's very, very shocking to the system.
It was just really hard. I remember her being in bed for about a year. My dad is gone most weekends, but obviously he's exhausted because he's traveling and doing shows.
I just remember going down in our basement. I just kind of just collapsed.
Is my mom gonna live? I don't know.
Okay, life might not turn out the way you think it will.
And thank you guys. A lot of you have been praying for my wife, Heather. She's doing really great right now. She was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2007, and she's been over 2 years cancer-free. And so thanks for praying for her. Because without this, I couldn't do this. I really couldn't without her and people that I love.
I spent probably 3 to 4 days a week being a single mom of 4 kids.
I was just thinking, well, I'm paying the bills, I'm taking care of my family. I was the only one creating the material. Like 17 years, I was full-time doing what I was doing, and my schedule was etched in stone. You know, we had 12, 14 employees, and 2 tour buses, and 3 or 4 buildings, and selling, 1 million tickets a year, whatever it was. And I was like, I want to be the best for me so I can be the best for them. But to be honest, it was all about avoiding and protecting myself. I was relying on Heather to take care of things. And after years and years of that, Heather had had enough.
Like, I guess I could probably do this on my own.
We separated in late 2018 for 2 months.
Sometimes the only thing that knocks a guy like this into sense is to be like, okay, you need to step out of the home for a while, and this is for reconciliation, but in the meantime, figure this out.
So it's like I need something to help me mentally. I was kind of messing with depression. I was on the cusp of depression. I got into a fight after a show one night. I don't know, it's either alcohol or drugs. I need some help.
And so when his brother's managing and he's the business end of it, and he says, he just needs to get off the road. He needs to be home with your family. And I was like, really? He does? Can he do that?
You're thinking in the back, well, we can't step away, so what else can we do? Well, there's really no other choice. So we're like, okay, we're gonna do this one more year, and January 1st, 2020, we're gonna shut it down. When I took the year off, I didn't miss ovations, and I didn't miss laughter and people pat me on the back.
I've known Alan ever since he was a PhD. A Pizza Hut dude.
That's horrible.
That is horrible. Is this helping you? Like, bring up some old
It
ones?
does. Sometimes I look, what was I doing? Yeah. I've never believed in fame. Never went for it. I just liked being good at something. And I was very grateful I had something I knew how to do. I like doing the podcast now. I always like doing voices and things like that and making my family laugh.
Hey, Libby, it's Sammy the Stonefish.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, I just want to call and say I'm sorry about what happened there years ago.
Being there, that's what a dad does. He's there. I feel more successful now than I used to feel. Before it was just, I want to be the funniest person out there. That was my focus. That was my goal, my mission statement. Everything went through that filter. I realized I don't have a whole lot of time to mess around, right? That's where I'm at right now. So success is more of a how present you are, how available you are to those around you. How can I connect? How can I be present and really enjoy life?